Every building in New York City, without exception, has some material from us somewhere, someplace.
We're celebrating our 100th anniversary here in our new warehouse. I'm glad everybody could be a part of this celebration.
G&G has been in business for 100 years.
It's a great accomplishment for us, for our customers, for our vendors.
My grandfather's brother, Gabriel, one of the G's, was actually sent from Stanislav, Ukraine, to the States to start an electrical supply business, which at that time would have marked the beginning of the great electrification of the city. So he formed the company, and the other G stood for George, which was the name of his father-in-law. And they ran that business until 1947, at which time my father came into the business. Gabriel, upon retiring, sold his share of the business to Harry Barnett and his son Irwin Hamill until I bought them out in 1985. In my youth, I had always worked with my father doing many different projects, and we always had made a very good team, and things took off, and within 3 years the business was once again completely back in the family.
A very historic project and a very emotionally attached project is the Freedom Tower. We've been there at that project from ground zero to the building it is today.
We were actually involved in supplying some of the materials to both the Empire State Building, and then just a little bit later supplied some of the materials to Rockefeller Center.
Another project that comes to mind is the Bryant Park project. All the electricity for Bryant Park runs underneath the park. There are rooms and vaults. Pretty intriguing project, pretty intense project. We actually ran and provided all the cable used underground to provide power to the skating rink, restaurants, the street lighting, all the street vendors.
Certainly these large projects alone, even with a small piece of the business, helped carry us through what were extremely difficult times.
Another trying time in G&G history, Hurricane Sandy. The city was shut down with no power, so we snapped into action. We came down, we set up a temporary generator, and as soon as we got power to the phones, they lit up. Our customers were so grateful that we were here for them.
By the early 90s, we had grown considerably. However, our location was much too small. At that time, I embarked in a great mission to find the building we're now in, at least in our Chelsea branch. And about a year before that, I had brought on my nephew, Joe Fusco.
When I first met Larry, it was 1984. I was 11 years old. Who would think 10 years later I would work for Uncle Lad in the family business.
He then had 2 months in order to get the business both moved and to also build out the building as it sits now.
We acquired the place, stocked it, and were open for business 10 days later.
And indeed he did it, and that certainly was started his career.
When I started here at G&G, we had 10 employees. We all did everything. I mean, whether I came in and I drove a truck for the day or answered the phones, we pretty much did it all.
Things went very well, and then it was in 2004 that I promoted myself to chairman, and Joe became the president of G&G. And he managed to continue on our philosophy, which not only was a matter of using technology to the fullest to provide our services to our customers, and in addition to that, it was always a matter of to find very technical, if not somewhat eccentric people, and to manage to put them together into a strong group that could act, quite frankly, as a family.
We came up with the great idea of opening up a lighting showroom, and we opened up G&G Lighting right next door. Over the years, it's grown from a 2-man shop to now a 7-man shop. We actually sell to a lot of real estate companies. We sell to Broadway. We pretty much light up New York.
It became clear that our small rented warehouse in Brooklyn would no longer serve us very well, and we began an effort to acquire a large warehouse, which we had hoped would become our central distribution facility. Finally, after 3 years, we found a warehouse in the South Bronx. Much of what we ship out will actually be shipped out from the warehouse.
And with this new location, we should definitely see the next 20 to 50 years of nonstop growth, and the service to our customers will be phenomenal.